Hello guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. Thank you all to everyone who is here supporting my channel. I really do appreciate. Today this is our first recipe for the new year. Woo! Okay, and we're making a sweet bread recipe. I like to call it agege bread because this is the closest I've gotten to making a really nice, soft, freshly baked bread. And I'm just going to show you the process for today. As you can see, I used warm milk and I just proved my yeast because it's a good way to see if the yeast is active, especially if you're using dry yeast as well. So just active yeast, which is not instant. Just prove it, and I added one egg into that mixture. Description ingredients is in the description box below, so please check for details. I'm adding in my bread flour, so it's best to use bread flours to get the best texture for this recipe. And I'm just adding in, when you're adding in your flour, don't add in the last half cup because you will need it gradually. So just make sure you add the last half cup gradually. And once I've mixed the dough, I'm adding in my butter. I melted the butter very slightly in the microwave because I didn't want it to mess up with the temperature of my yeast. So it shouldn't be too hot and it shouldn't be too cold. We need to bear in mind we're dealing with yeast here, so we don't want to kill it, and we also don't want to like put in anything cold that will slow down the process way too long. But yeah, um just make sure your butter is just about good room temperature. So if you're in a colder environment, you might want to just warm it up a little bit if you've not left it at the room temperature. Now, this is the important part. You just need to make sure you folded your dough, and before this beat, you must have seen me kind of like pressing down on on the dough when it was before bringing it out after it's risen. Um, it's very important is to remove the air from the dough. So do not skip that process. After that, we're going to knead for just few minutes. I didn't really need mine, so if you want to knead it, you're welcome to. It could improve the texture of your bread, but this doesn't really need kneading. So all I did is just tuck in my dough and I rolled it up. So as you can see, the way I'm doing here, I really don't know what this does, to be honest, but I just saw a recipe on it and I think it's really helpful to not skip the process. So maybe it helps it bake very well. I don't know. But yeah, so that's all I'm doing for this one. For the smaller doughs, which is the round doughs, I didn't have to roll it like this. All I did was just tuck in the dough and I baked it, and they came out really nicely as well. So yeah, I'm going to let you guys enjoy the video for a bit. But yeah, as you can see here, my dough was slightly too big for the pan. So what you can do is actually just slice it into two. So I could have done that, but honestly I wasn't thinking when I was recording. When I was making this bread, I just wanted to get into the oven. So yeah, this is the smaller roll that I'm making, and you can see what I mean by I just tucked it and I pinched the hand, and yeah, I just placed it in the pan and it came out fine. You can use a baking, cake pan, and it really worked very well. So yeah, that's all I did, and when it came out, it was so beautiful and it wasn't burnt. Because of my oven, it's quite an old oven. I baked it at 140 degrees Celsius for about 25 minutes and they came out quite well. For the bigger one, it stayed in for another 5-10 minutes. So yeah, honestly, I made a little mistake when it came to the bigger bread. So my advice is to firstly make sure, as you can see, I'm struggling here. Make sure to oil with butter, and for additional support, you can also coat with flour on after buttering the pan. And make sure to not let the bread over rise because as you can see here, it's going to go puffing all over. Or the best thing you can do is just not cover it with the pan, and if you're covering it with the pan, make sure you're also oiling the top of that pan. I forgot totally to do that. So it was very easy for it to stick all around, and it was very difficult to get the bread out. But overall, I'm so pleased with my recipe. Believe it or not, guys, I've tried it for the third time, so you can definitely tell this recipe would work for you, because I'd make sure that I got the process right. And I think the thing I did wrong in the first or second recipe was I burnt the recipe, and I didn't also give my yeast the time to kind of like rise. So you don't want to um rise your yeast very quickly. You don't want to activate it very quickly. So make sure you're not using way too much warm water or way too cold water. Just lukewarm would do. But yeah, that's the recipe for today. Thank you so much for watching. Until next time. Bye.